that is our final heat in the 1650. Brought to you right there by Bruce Griffin, our PA announcer. Championship record 16:04.69, set back in 2013. Legendary Danielle Valley from the Sarasota Sharks. There's your lineup again. So Summers in 1, Schneider in 2, Pfeiffer 3, Sutphin 4, our defending champion. Fitzgerald in 5, Penny in 6, Potteiger in 7, and Bouchane in lane number 8. York ladies with 3 swimmers in. And this afternoon, our fastest 3 times. The third fastest time was a 17:19.90. That was Kirsten Dietzweiler. And second fastest time was Bridget Davis from Fanwood Scotch Plains, 17:14.18. And Julia Bartow from Cheshire, Connecticut, was a 17:05.64 going out. So those were your top times this afternoon in this mile. So our defending champion, Ava Sutphin, in the center of the pool. You can see her in the red cap, but right away, Katelyn Fitzgerald up there in lane number 5, jumping on it. As we know, Fitzgerald was 4th in this event last year. Fitzgerald now holding 29s. 29.92, only swimmer under 30 points. She's being followed by Potteiger up there in lane number 7. Fitzgerald from the Western Branch, Delaware. Zoe Snyder holding down 3rd down here in lane number 2. Sutphin trying to move up also. And it is Sutphin. So 1.43 seconds ahead of the field right now is Katelyn Fitzgerald. So right there in the center of the pool again, Sutphin. She'll be coming up on the 300 mark. Sorry, that's not Sutphin. Fitzgerald, still your leader, followed by Potteiger and then Sutphin. So Kate Fitzgerald. Last year she was 17:02.98, comes in seated with a 16:46, so she's on pace right now for that swim. Last year going 17, so 300 through. He was 350 through, now she's 328. Last year she was 3:31.69. So she's about 3 seconds ahead of her pace from last year. 7. We'll see where McKenna is right now versus last year. She's at 3:29.96. The last year she was at 3:30.66. So 400 through, and field is moving up a bit. Sutphin, Ava Sutphin, our defending champion. We'll see where she was. Last year she was 16:40.33. And right now through 400 she was 4:00.68. Last year she was 4:01.31. So she's right on pace where she was last year. We'll see how she's swimming. 450 through right now, heading up to the 500 mark. So Potteiger, Sutphin, Fitzgerald. And we know Sutphin won the 1,000. Yep. So 5:01.42 for Fitzgerald last year. She was 5:05.38. So she's well under where she was last year. Sutphin 5:01.91. She was 5:02 last year, so she's right on pace where she was last year. Now she's kind of moving by, 5:50 through. 1,100 to go. Now your new leader, she's in the low 30s, 30.21 on that last 50. Fitzgerald second, and Potteiger in third. Not much separating the three, only about 7/100ths of a second. Taking a look at those kicks, saving some energy. Sutphin's got about a, take a look again at that kick, but we're 600 through. She is, you got a 4-beat. They got a 4-beat kick going there on those stroke cycles. It looks like up there in lane 7, Potteiger might be 2-beat. But Sutphin, this will be a race. We'll see if there's any separation here as we move up to the 1,000 mark. And we're 650 through. Ava Sutphin over Fitzgerald, trying to break away a bit. Ava was 30.41 on that last 50. And Sutphin last year coming up on the 700 mark, 7:03.30. So she's right on her pace from last year. Now Fitzgerald last year was 7:10, so she's well below that, and Potteiger was 7:14. So those ladies are well ahead of their pace from last year. And we know coming in seated, Sutphin seated first. He was seated first by 11 seconds. And she is through the 750 mark. And we'll be coming up on the halfway point at 33 lengths. We're through 31 right now. You can see that 31 on the lane counters. So last year through this, she was 8:04, and she's at 8:04 tonight, 8:04.32. Almost a 2-second lead now over Fitzgerald. And Katelyn Fitzgerald was 8:13. And Potteiger last year was 8:17. That's halfway through now. We are halfway there of the 66 lengths. That was length number 33. Coming up on length number 34. And we are 850 through. Sutphin now with a 2.3 second lead. Trying to double up in the 1,000 and the 1650. Ava also, she swam the IM, and she was 4th in the 500, 15th in the 4 IM this week, from Emmy Lyon, Cincinnati, Ohio. Another year she'll be off to school at Arizona. A nice swim. Very steady in those low 30s. Fitzgerald at 30.82. Potteiger at 30.94. Hayden Penny trying to move up a little bit. She was a 30 point. In 4th place is Zoe Schneider from York in York County. YMCA the Roses, as they just recently merged there in South Central Pennsylvania with Lancaster YMCA. We'll be coming up on the 1,000 mark. And at the 1,000 mark, last year, Ava was 10:05. We'll see where she is this year. Right around that time, if she gets her feet over, she'll be right there, 10:05. That's where she was last year. So she's on pace to go 16:40 or lower through the 1,000. And on the 1,000, so she was 10:05. Fitzgerald was 10:09. And last year, she was 10:18. And Potteiger was 10:24 last year. Potteiger, look at that this year, 10:10, 14 seconds better than she was last year. Potteiger finished up 8th last year. Fitzgerald was 4th last year. And in fourth place is Zoe Schneider. But Ava, 29.92. So she's going to try to take this last 650, maybe in the 29s. We'll see. She's got her legs into it. Pretty good turns right there. So 11:05. So just ahead of where she was last year. She'll have 500 to go. That's a great head-on shot right there of Ava Sutphin. Nice even stroke. Hands coming right out over in front of basically her shoulder. And I'll see where that is. You can see a little bit wide on that first stroke, but that's okay. She evens it out. Low 30 on that last 50. So she has 500 to go, about 475 right now for Ava Sutphin. Cincinnati, Ohio, Emmy Lyons YMCA. And with the logo at Anderson Barracudas they go by. So 450 to go for Ava Sutphin, who's broken it open. And we still have Fitzgerald and Potteiger in a race. They are not far apart from one another. Take a look at that. Snyder trying to make a move down here in lane number 2. But Sutphin, 30.17. Let's see where Fitzgerald, 2:44.67. McKenna Potteiger, 2:44.93. If my math's correct, that's 26 hundredths of a second, or 2,600, almost 3/10 of a second, just separating those two. They're almost even as they swim by there. 350 to go for Ava Sutphin, trying to go back-to-back here in the mile. 17 years old. Won the 1,000. Very strong here. She's got her legs into it. Still 4 beats going through. Good turnover rate. 30.01. That's getting close to that 29s. She's 13:36.35. She was 13:38.32, so she's definitely having a better back half. I can see her splits from last year to this year, and definitely these 50 splits are much better. That's the work and the training she's putting in. 29.86 on that last split, 14:06.21. She was 14:08, and on that 50 last year, she was 30.36. So 250 to go after that, 225 right now for Ava Sutphin. Katelyn Fitzgerald, and then McKenna Potteiger. Still about 3/10 of a second separating those two. But Ava Sutphin has broken away from the field with 175 to go. Women's 1650 Centennial meet. Trying to go back to back. Certainly looks like she will do so. She's at 30.02. She's got to pick it up. She's 1,500 through, 16 of this 1650, 150 to go. So she is 15.06 through. She was 15.09, so she'll be mid 1630s. If she can get her splits down below where she was last year, she split out 30, mid-30s last year. Can she be under that? She's 29.98, 100 to go for Ava Sutphin from Emmy Lyons. Very strong swim, very strong back half, especially in comparison to last year where she was 1640. Got to be at that 16:35 mark. Come in on that seed time. And there's the bell. Came up a little short on that turn, but that's okay. She's 29.62. Last year coming home, Ava was she was 29.82. So let's get her in there. They're hooting and hollering and waving her by. Ava Sutphin. And it's Fitzgerald and McKenna Potteiger. Man, they are 1/100th of a part, but Ava Sutphin goes 16:34.75, and that looks like a lifetime best by about a second. She came in seated at a 16:35. Here comes Potteiger, and it will be McKenna Potteiger on that last 50 going 28.24. Nudging out Katelyn Fitzgerald. She was 28.62, but big drops for those young ladies from last year. Potteiger last year was 17:13.28. This year, she's 16:49.02. Fitzgerald 17:02 last year, and this year she drops to 16:49. Incredible. Great drops right there for those two young athletes. And we'll be handing out the awards. They're going to have to make their way over to our